What is up, YouTube?
Hi.
Giving honor to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ first and foremost.
Always.
My name is Marcus.
I'm Christian.
And this is Marriage for Dummies
Yes.
Reaction. Today, we're doing a Charlie Kirk video. It's going to be 3 separate videos. And I found these interesting, so I'm going to let y'all check it out. Look at the title. That's what it's about. All right. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and we love you.
We do. God bless y'all.
Check it out.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us when we do these, y'all.
What do they think of white people or whiteness?
Who would you like me to quote?
Kimberly Crenshaw.
I haven't read Kimberly Crenshaw.
She says that
yet.
whiteness is a cancer or a toxin on our society.
The concept of whiteness, the racial concept of whiteness.
Okay, so what is whiteness?
What is whiteness?
Yeah, define it.
As Kimberly Crenshaw would probably say, the sort of construction of privilege that comes with being white in this country.
Right, so what privilege do you and I as white people have that black people don't have?
Yeah, great question. On applications that are blindly judged, white-sounding names are often given the job more, they're paid more.
Not true. In fact, it's the opposite. There's black privilege right now. It's called affirmative action, where underqualified blacks are taking Asians and white people's places in universities across the country. True or false?
True.
Okay, so yeah, there's black privilege, not white privilege
I
in this
actually
country.
don't think affirmative action is how we address education inequality.
Okay, well, that affirmative action is still largely supported by the CRT regime. But let's get back to CRT, to the essence of it.
Sure.
CRT believes in one manifestation of its ideology is black-only dormitories. So white people are not allowed. Do you believe in black-only dormitories?
No, and I don't have to agree
Okay.
with
No,
every
you're
aspect
being
of an
fair.
ideology
Fine.
to argue for it.
So then what part of CRT do you like? Because they call whiteness a toxin, black-only dormitories, and if you want to talk about like ideological or intellectual sloppiness, the 1619 Project was...
I think it's very sloppy.
Okay, we agree. Nicole Hannah
I think
Jones.
it's overstated, and I think some
You're
parts
being
are
fair.
inaccurate.
Okay, good.
The parts of CRT that I think are most relevant and, very factually, you can, what am I trying to say? There's a lot of evidence for them, is the fact that previous inequalities, such as the institution of slavery, such as our treatment of Native Americans, do in fact affect those populations today. And you were saying before, in inner cities, there's a lot more crime, and a lot of that is because of redlining and other practices that come directly from the mistreatment of minorities previously in this country.
So I want to make sure I understand. So black people make up 13% of the American population.
Oh, 1350, my favorite.
Yes, exactly. Why do they commit 55% of all the murders?
Super great question. It's basically a very complex intersection of race and economic status. It's pretty well known that minority people tend to be in a lower economic status because of discrimination.
Hey, remember, whenever someone says something's complicated, that's the devil. Okay, it has nothing to do with God, because God is pretty straightforward.
Yes.
The devil is complicated.
The truth is a straight line.
Yeah, the truth is straight. When you say it's confused. It's when you get confusing. If it's confusing,
The author of confusion,
the author of confusion is
the
Satan.
devil.
So just keep that in mind.
So then why don't poor Asians commit a lot of murders?
Also a great question. Asian people weren't originally brought to America on purpose like black people, and they weren't already present here like natives. I'm not finished, please.
So blacks murder because they were brought here 250 years ago?
No, I would like to finish.
Okay, just answer. It's very simple.
I am answering.
No, I know, but you're not really.
I am. Asian Americans predominantly immigrate here for work reasons. They come from already wealthy countries. They're already wealthy when they get here. Crime is committed primarily by
First of all,
poorer
that's not
people.
true. Talk to anybody from who's Vietnamese? Anybody? Did your family come here wealthy? No. Yes
Not
and
wealthy,
no. Okay.
but not.
Yes
I'm not
or
saying
no?
they come
No.
here. Okay.
The average Vietnamese does not come here wealthy.
I'm not. Okay. I perhaps misspoke. Not wealthy, but a lot of the. You complain about it all the time. A lot of the immigration from countries that border us, right? It's sort of desperate people who are of a lower economic status, right? And they're coming here for a better life.
So 2 things. Number 1, there's been more blacks that have legally immigrated to this country in the last 30 years than were ever brought as slaves. That's number 1. Number 2, you still haven't answered the question.
I didn't know that.
I'm trying to.
Why?
It's a complicated answer.
Black people are only
Wait,
13% of the population.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Wait. Hold on. He's saying that more black people immigrated here than that were originally brought here?
It's slaves, yeah. That's
All right.
think about that now.
Alrighty.
I'm saying, and I don't think the ones that's coming that way are complainers.
Yeah.
I don't think they're complainers, man.
I don't think so either.
Yet they commit 55% of the murders. Why?
Because black people tend to be in lower economic statuses because of
Okay, no, this
CRT.
is fine. This is great.
Basically,
So if a black some black guys rolled up in her house with ski mask on and stole all of her stuff and then left, would she still give that same reasoning? That, hey, bro, you gotta, you know what I'm saying, take it on the chin because they came
so
from a
real.
lower economical status.
That's so real.
So it's okay for them to do that crime. It gotta be okay when it's done to you. If it's okay,
you know what? I won't press charges.
Yeah.
I don't think
it's
that
only right. It's only right.
they shouldn't even be. It's not even their fault. It's actually not even their. You know what? Take me in cuffs instead. That's better. Like,
You think that poverty equals crime?
I think that it's highly correlated, and there's a lot of studies
This is where
on
we
that.
disagree. What an insult to the working poor
So
of this
why
country.
do you think black people commit more
Well,
crime,
first
Charlie
of all,
Kirk?
so how? Let me ask you a question as
No,
my
answer it. Go on.
What percentage of blacks have a father around when they're raised?
I'm not sure.
20%.
So that's why you
80% of
think it
blacks
is.
do not have a stable father around. It is the most predictable way to end up in prison, end up as a murderer or a criminal.
And why
It's
do
not a
you think that's
racism
a problem?
Yeah,
it's
that's
not a
across
white
the board.
supremacy problem. It's a fact that black fathers impregnate women and they don't stay around with the women
And
that they have
why-
impregnated.
Charlie Kirk, do you think
Like I
that
was
that happens
saying,
more in
man,
the
I
black
like
community
these doing
compared to
that.
others?
It's threefold. Number one, we subsidize single motherhood. Number two, it's culture. It's accepted in the black community, and it
So
shouldn't
it's
be.
culture. Okay.
Don't take my
I
word
see.
for it. Read Thomas Sowell's own book on how black culture allows single motherhood to continue into a nanny state type practice. 75% of black youth are raised without a father in the home. 75%.
Wow.
Is that a bigger problem or not a bigger problem than whiteness, white privilege, or white supremacy? How
They
can
should
you
all
blame?
be addressed, and they're all related.
Okay, how is a white person to blame for the fact that 75% of blacks?
Oh, individual white people aren't at all to blame.
Okay, we agree.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but wouldn't it be more like smart to be like, hey,
So a cabal?
that this is not about
It's
systemic
perpetual-
racism. Like, stop impregnating
perpetual
your women
whatever that kid
and
was saying.
abandoning them.
Well, the way to incentivize not impregnating women and abandoning them is increasing access to healthcare, into housing, into everything that we know increases
so we've
those
done
outcomes
that.
for people.
So we have
So we've
spent
done that.
$30 trillion on the
Listen.
social welfare system since 1965.
my
Black people are
gracious.
poorer, and the single motherhood went from 25% to now 75 to 80%. So the more money we've
ain't
spent
helping.
on Black America, the less
worse it
fathers we
got.
have,
Oh
because
my
black
gosh.
women divorced black men and married the government.
Woo!
And do you think that's a problem inherent to black people?
No, it's not. It's happening now in
Ladies,
white communities and
better
Hispanic
take
communities.
accountability.
It's just the worst in black America.
And why do you think that is?
Why is it the worst in black America? There's also a cultural problem. There is, and we have
Okay,
to be
so
honest
it's
about
just
it.
just that black people are
No,
sort
let me
of
ask you a
like
question.
that,
The
in your
average
opinion.
music that a black person in Compton is listening to, is it about contemplating the good, the true, and the beautiful, or is it about being a gangbanger and trying to get as much money and sleep with about as many girls as you can?
I would actually like to think I would be offended by that.
Do you think
If
the
if
average
I listened
black
to
kid in
rap-
Compton is listening to Beethoven or some sort of gangster rap music that
Honestly.
glorifies gangster culture?
Silly question. Rap wasn't created to glorify
Doesn't
gangster
matter what
culture.
it's
So even though there
created
is
for.
Okay,
rap,
I mean,
I'm sure
you're not
that's
answering.
doing
You're
that.
dodging the question because.
Okay, I'm sure they're listening to rap.
Okay.
So you think
there
rap
go.
music makes them
no,
leave
I'm
their
not.
mom?
Do you think the cultural expectation in black America is that you stay with the woman that you impregnate?
Within black communities, I can't speak on that.
Okay, the answer is no. It's not. It's not expected.
Okay, and do you think that is-
hold on, in white Anglo-Saxon Protestant communities,
Oh,
it's a
okay.
fact. Hold on. In upper middle class white communities,
Upper middle class. Say that part louder.
yeah, upper middle class white Anglo-Saxon Protestant communities, if you impregnate a woman, you are looked down upon and we do not think highly of you if you abandon the woman that you impregnate. That's a
Yeah.
cultural difference. Has nothing to do with money. Has nothing to do with anything except norms. And the norms
real.
that have infected black America are destroying it from within. We need more fathers, not less. We need more dads around and less drag queen story hour. We need more young blacks to be able to look up to role models that
Yes.
are not leaving all the time and are not just saying, hey, I impregnated her, so be it. It's a toxin. And if we don't address that as the root cause, oh, it's white supremacy, it's injustice, it's economics, we're dancing around the core of the issue.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is, right, and you've perfectly actually laid out the dichotomy here. It is a fact, obviously, that black people disproportionately commit crime in this country. No one's arguing that. But you either believe that that is due to a complex intersection of social, economic, and like leftover effects from previous inequalities, or you believe that that is an inherent trait to the race.
No, I don't, because they weren't that way in the 1940s and 50s. Black America was one of the most peaceful, flourishing, fastest growing economically communities in the country. It's not genetic. You're trying to point something on me that I don't believe. Instead,
But then
Black
you do
America,
believe that it's
hold
not
on.
genetic, so you do think CRT is correct.
Hold on a
That's
second.
kind of what I'm getting at.
In the 1940s and 1950s, Black America was prosperous and was on pace to be richer and wealthier than white America. More dads were staying with the women that they were with. There was monogamy. What changed?
You're supporting my argument.
No, hold on. But answer the question. What changed? Did America get more racist since the 1950s?
I would argue there were more racist policies passed. There were more
Hold on a
policies
second.
dedicated
In
to
the
lining
in
up
the
those communities
1950s,
and pushing them into poor housing and poor schools.
Wait a second. In the
Pushing them
1950s,
in.
Jackie Robinson had not even broken the color barrier. We had Jim Crow laws. We hadn't passed the Civil Rights Act, and we hadn't passed the Voting Rights Act. Yet blacks were better in the 1950s per capita than they are today.
Now.
So we have become less racist. We've passed more anti-racist laws and given more stuff, and blacks are worse than they were 70 years ago.
Yeah.
Why?
So you're equating here institutional and social racism.
Wow.
Social racism was certainly worse in the 1950s. I'm sure everyone would agree. But
Give them
institutional
some
racism
And if they
occurs
haven't
when
earned it, how are they
policies
gonna
are
know
Hold on.
passed
We had-
against people,
Come on.
which can increase
You're-
over time, and it did.
You're not being intellectually honest. You know that. There was black-only drinking fountains in the 1950s. We don't have those anymore. Well, we're bringing them back with, black-only dormitories. But we had, for example, in the antebellum South in the 1950s, we had white-only communities. By law.
So
We got
crazy.
rid of that with the Civil Rights Act. But it didn't.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we look around. The numbers speak for themselves. Black youth are less likely to have fathers. They're not doing as well as far as economically. They commit more crime. So something changed. And our argument is what changed is three things. Number one, the imposition of the Great Society Project by Lyndon Baines Johnson of spending $30 trillion since 1960s on Section 8 housing, on welfare, on all sorts, where, as I said, that young black women married the
By the
government and they
government.
divorced young black men.
So
And then we also have had as Thomas Sowell and as Clarence Thomas would say, the soft bigotry of low expectations. And we have been afraid to get to the root of the issue or even speak about it because we don't want to be called a racist.
So what is imposing those low expectations?
Part of it is like white academic culture. I'll give you an example. I'm not saying you believe this, but Merrick Garland, the Attorney General of the United States, has come out and said having an ID to vote is racist. That is
argument,
code for saying black people are too dumb to get a voter ID.
You're doing it again. You're simplifying a very nuanced, complex
not.
argument from the real people who are making it.
Is
and
voter
pinpoint-
ID racist?
Obviously not, Charlie.
Okay, all
Do
right.
you want to know where the argument comes from? I can eloquently tell you.
Eloquently tell me
Where the
why
argument comes from.
voter ID is racist or
Great.
whatever.
Certain
yeah.
policies in southern states were proposed that would, I think the quote from the person who decided the case was, with surgical precision, target the times where black people were voting and make it illegal or harder for them to get that to come at that time. And then they were targeting the type of ID that black voters had and making that specific type of ID illegal. That is racist.
Perfectly fair.
The fact that she knows that it's not racist and she's not expressing to the people that she's hearing this argument from, she knows it's not racist, but I understand where they're coming from. That's what she's saying, right? She said, I know it's not racist. This voter ID thing is not racist. I know it's not racist, but why won't she, when people express the racism in it, like she expressed it from their side,
Yeah.
but they're wrong. So why don't you openly,
I'm sorry, you're wrong.
you're
but
incorrect,
yeah.
but you come into Charlie and telling Charlie to,
and you know what that is?
What?
Is that okay? Because I come from a place where when someone used to address me on that, I'm like, oh man, but I feel bad for you and how you feel.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to look over the part that I know is the truth,
And-
but because it makes you feel a way. And that's the thing, is that that's a tricky place to be.
Yeah.
And what happens is that if that person doesn't know to take accountability, how will they?
Yeah.
How can they?
You just gotta
You know
lose
what I'm
friends.
saying? Like,
telling the truth.
yes, and then guess what? They'll go home and they'll be like, and it'll stir a little bit in their head, and all you can hope for is that they get it.
Yeah, you pray about it, and
You know?
pray for this young lady. She knows her stuff about the other side, but she be a great asset to the kingdom. So
100%.
Just pray for that young lady.
100%.
How does that
And
impact?
It always comes from a place of caring and sympathy, but that's how tricky the devil is off of your emotions.
Yeah.
You know?
Today saying that every citizen, if you need an ID to vote, just that aside, why is it racist?
Because we have to have, obviously humans are making those decisions, right? And so if there is still institutional racism and people in power that are racist, we can't trust those institutions to make those decisions without
institutional
discriminating against
racism do we
people.
have in this country right now?
What you just named it.
What?
1350.
Okay, well, I mean,
Affirmative action needs to happen because there is not that many minorities in these higher educations or higher education institutions.
There isn't
okay, so
enough.
you're being clear,
13%.
which is then you lower standards.
No.
Affirmative
I don't
action
support
always
that.
does. Affirmative action lowers standards by definition.
I'm saying why affirmative action was introduced. I'm not arguing for it.
Were you asking me why it was introduced, or
No, I'm saying you agree that's why it was introduced.
Well, I agree why it was. I don't think it ever should have been, but yes.
Right,
I mean,
but there is institutional inequality, yes?
Well, I wouldn't even use the word inequality. I mean, I don't love looking at it that way, but of course, white people generally are richer than black people in this country.
Richer and more represented in politics and schools, yes?
Somewhat yes and
Why do you think
yes
that
and
is,
no.
Charlie?
Why do they say?
Do you know why that is? It's because I just found out that there's only 13% of black people. I just found that out.
Yeah.
So the only way that affirmative action would ever make sense is if it was equally white and black people.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh man, you're only hiring whites.
Yeah.
Or you know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't make any sense when it's only 13% of the population.
And also
that's insane.
And you got to also look at the cultural differences, what each side values, and then that should take even more out of the running in the black community. You see what I'm saying? So
that's wild.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is really wild.
Yeah.
Well, hold on a second. Let's ask the question here. Represented how?
Yeah.
So I mean,
look at Congressman.
So no, hold on a second. Are white people represented fairly in the National Basketball Association?
Who cares? What political
Hold on,
power
I
does
thought
the
we're all
national...
about fair representation.
Listen.
I think that it should, by law, half of the NBA should be white.
Great, fine.
And the product would suck.
Lobby for it.
Because
I don't
blacks
care.
are much better at basketball than we whites are.
What political power does the NBA have?
A lot, actually. The NBA reaches millions of people every day. They have slogans that people internalize. In fact, if the NBA had no political power, why would they have to wear Black Lives Matter on all their jerseys? Why would politicians try to get their endorsements all the time? The NBA is more powerful than Congress in some ways of shaping the minds.
It's your turn to be academically dishonest
Hold on
now,
a second.
but
No.
sure.
But if you want fair representation, just to be clear, then why would you not be against whites, by law, being half of the National Basketball Association? Right now, black people make up 88% of the NBA.
Do it, great. Who cares?
No,
I don't care. I'm saying,
Okay.
right, so here's my point.
All right,
if we
fine.
have
I have a shot, everybody.
Please listen.
Don't care.
If we...
I could play for the Lakers.
I hope... Do it, Charlie. I'll come to your games. I'll do it.
The point is this, is that merit should triumph over all of it.
Which is awesome. Okay, so merit should triumph. We agree.
Okay.
Okay, Charlie, do you think black people are not as smart or competent as
Absolutely
white
not.
people?
No.
Perfect. So they should, in theory, then be equally represented in positions of
but
power.
hold on, so have you ever read Discrimination and Disparities by Thomas Sowell?
Do you only read Thomas Sowell? You've quoted him like 3 times. I haven't read
No,
that.
I read a lot more than Thomas Sowell, but I'm happy to. Thomas Sowell's the only intellectual with the courage to go after like these core issues of why Black America has fallen behind and why no one actually has studied it. So let's just give a great example. When you don't have a father in the home, the amount of words that a child hears goes down by 60 to 70%. Wow. The amount of words that a child, I don't know if you're a mother or not, or plan to be. Okay, no, just it's an important point. The amount of words that an 18-month-old hears is highly predictive of IQ, verbal development. Okay, so that's simple. When you don't have a dad in the home, the mom is overwhelmed, and there's just less interaction with the child.
That's all fine.
Okay, so we agree. I'm just saying that's not because of racism.
That's true.
No,
Obviously,
that's
I'm
fine.
not saying that's good.
No, she I know what you meant. But you have a father in the home. All of a sudden, they hear thousands of more words a day, and they're like way further ahead of a single mother raising a child.
Because
That's
of the
not
dialogue.
racism.
Okay, so
between
dads
the
are good.
two,
Yes,
right?
great.
Okay,
My question
I'm
to
saying
you
dad.
Well, the easy math is one human,
Yeah.
2 humans.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, because they're gonna hear more conversation, and that makes sense.
Dads actually answer
Daycare.
most of the
They
questions
just out for
that you
daycare.
might have about why
Single
Black
moms.
America is falling behind.
Okay, but
Because their dads don't stay around, and
I'm
that's
trying
bad.
to sort of get to
Go
you to
ahead.
reconcile your own beliefs. And if that's true, which is fine, that's true. We can say that's true. You either believe that has social and economic causes, or you believe that Black culture's just worse.
No,
and there
I
isn't
think
another
that
thing
temper-
to think.
It is.
No,
That's
I,
very-
Those are
I
your
was very
options.
clear. Right now, Black culture is being held captive by influences, songs,
There you
Which
go.
and role
influences?
There you go.
models. I mean, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B.
Okay, Nicki Minaj is causing dads to leave the home.
Hold on a second. I don't think that's a good role model for 18-year-old Black girls. I don't.
She knows
I
what
don't
he's
think
saying.
that songs that are
Come
talking
on
about
now.
like glorifying wet female genitalia is exactly. I don't know which one wrote that song. Which one was it?
I think it was Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but but by the way, the role models of the 1940s and 50s for Black America were completely different.
So
They-
it is a representation issue.
Hold on a second. No, not representation. It's who do you get your art from? It's what values are they putting forward? It's the question of every day. For example, more times than not, Black politicians will lament the condition of America. It's systemically racist. It's terrible. What does that do to a 14-year-old Black kid if you just find that you hear that everything is rigged against you? Instead, they should be saying, hey, there
been
might be
there.
some barriers, but if you believe in yourself enough, you can achieve in this country.
There you go.
It creates a form of social conditioning of low expectations,
someone
and
who's
that's
been to
not
a lot
my
of
argument.
colleges.
You know whose argument that is? Barack Obama's.
I don't necessarily agree with
Barack
everything
Obama
you said
said.
either, man.
Barack Obama said, number one, we need more fathers in the home. This is when Barack Obama
Barack
didn't go super
Obama's a
woke.
liberal. I don't care what he's got to say.
Okay, but Barack Obama then secondly, he said that we can't keep telling our Black youth that you can't succeed in this country. Anybody can succeed
And
in this
he's-
country. And Obama was right when he said that. Obama was correct when he said that
Right.
we need to change the story we're telling Black America.
Which is
There you go.
fine. I've never heard any teacher look at a Black person and say, "Oh, you can't succeed because of racism."
Hold
Good
on a
luck,
second.
though.
But
Like,
what is the embedded message
She knows.
of all the propaganda saying it's systemically
No,
racist,
a minute
you're going to
ago,
run
that's
into
what she
racist
was saying, was
employers,
being,
that they're going to discriminate against you? It creates this heaviness of why even try?
By the time
Yeah.
college
Everything's
students
rigged.
get to college, they've experienced all that. They don't need to be told.
You think that the average? I'm curious. You think that the average Black student at this university experiences like active daily racism? I'd be curious.
I'd have to ask. You can ask them to
I
raise
don't know.
their
I
hands
don't
if
know.
you'd like.
Maybe it's true. Maybe it's as bad as it was in the antebellum South. So
I'm not saying that, obviously.
Okay.
I did say
Fine.
social racism improved. I'm
Okay,
saying
to be
institutional
clear.
racism is still present, and that's what's causing lower outcomes for minority communities.
I don't think so.
Do you think the reason why
much more
only
money?
20 to 25%, it depends, we don't know the number, it's just a range per year.
Sure.
So 1 in 4 of Black youth have a stable father around. What would you just say is the big, why is that the reason?
A
What-
complex intersection of social and economic reasons, which are outlined in CRT.
It's not.
Okay. Thank you for the dialogue.
complex.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, you see how that a complex, but can't never get to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And
it's-
when such simple, good points are made as far as
Yeah.
what are you looking up to? What are you surrounding yourself with?
Yeah.
What are your morals and merits? What are you telling each other? What are you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When those are such very important pieces, a part of what makes anyone successful.
Yeah.
That is the truth. All of the success books, all of the become millionaire books, things like that, include those things. Be a good person. Understand who Christ is. Apply these things in your life and understand that it's up to you what you're going to do with your life.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what it's about.
Yeah,
you know?
the only problem is covetousness.
Yeah.
I'll keep getting to that. You're always going. The only reason you want to hate on somebody because
And want to not do the work to do it, to
Right,
get there.
right.
You just want it like drop down from the sky.
yeah, it's
Like,
covetousness.
yeah.
It's
and then think that that's how they got it. Oh,
Yeah.
they just got it like
Yeah.
drop down for them.
don't care about their story.
They didn't even have to try.
Yep.
Like they didn't have to do anything.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
No,
If you white and you got a business, that means you always had a business and your daddy gave you money.
yes,
That's what I used to think.
That's what it always is.
Yeah, so I know
It's
I
wild.
know the process. Yeah.
It is wild.
Until now, where I'm like, all right, keep your head down. Stop looking at other people's YouTubes and worry about your YouTube,
There you
and
go.
stop worrying about what you gonna get and worry about who you impacting.
Woo!
And there you go. That's it.
Amen.
But yeah, I hear.
Serve others, y'all, and
Let's do it.
all the rest will fall in line.
Let's see. All right.
To address your previous assertion that race means nothing,
Oh, this is gonna be
critical
oh,
race
it's
theory
okay.
is not being taught in schools.
Uh-oh, it's
It
a
is
little
a
Yeah.
academic theory that's
Can we turn it up?
pretty much
Yeah,
delegated only to higher academia. They're not teaching it in schools. Your explanation of it was an oversimplification. You address the real history behind it, unlike most people. And why?
All right,
if
I'm gonna
race
scratch this one, and then so that I can, because I don't want y'all to get lulled because that one's too low.
True.
And then, but this last one, and then here we go.
Oh, it's not gonna be blasting.
All right, let's see. Hopefully this one is. If not, then we'll end it up.
Why do we care if there's no father? I grew up
thought
without
this
a
was-
father. I feel like I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. I'm in college. Like, why are we so towards the father? Why does he need to be there so much?
So just try to answer my question for me. Do you think what kind of is there any time, and you're being very vulnerable, and I appreciate that, when you were growing up, and maybe not, where you said, I wish I had a dad around?
My mom says I did wish for that once at a wishing well.
Yeah.
But my mom was great. She
No, of
supported
course, your mom's
me,
a hero,
provided
for sure.
me.
No, I'm not. This is not a knock on single moms.
Right.
But was there ever a time maybe where a more masculine figure would have been helpful?
I can't really, not off the top of my head.
Okay.
Like, can you give me an example of
Yes.
when a masculine figure would be helpful
when
in my life?
a boyfriend might have broke up with you, and you didn't want to talk to your mom because she just didn't get it, and you wanted a strong, stable man to say you're beautiful.
I think, I mean, I have, if my father was like, you're beautiful, that'd be cool. But like, if my mom was also like, you're beautiful, I don't really see a difference between like my mom saying it and my father saying
Wow.
it.
Okay. Yeah. That's.
But
I don't see the.
Yeah, it's an ontological thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I can understand how if you've never had it,
Yeah.
how you would be like,
really
I don't see how that would
Yeah.
help, or you know what I'm saying. So I can understand like where she can't conceptualize it, but the thing is that the parts where as a lady that is embedded in you of she's just unaware that things that she maybe struggles with as far as how she feels when people look at her, or feels when people, things like that, like things that are deep rooted in you that she's unaware probably that is due to not having her dad there.
Yeah.
But because that's a lot of times what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's way deeper things in there than we can even
Hey,
possibly
women.
imagine.
Hey, women, if you feel the same way she does, meet your dad.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, meet your dad.
Yeah.
And then you'll understand what
You
it's
will.
Yeah.
You will definitely understand it.
world that way, because there's being a father to a daughter, there's a very unique bond between a father and a daughter, where it's you fall in love again, but not romantic love. You fall in a different type of Greek love, which is called storge, which is a father-daughter love, where you have such affection for this incredible being, and your task is to shepherd that vulnerable, innocent girl through life all the way up until the marriage aisle, to kind of connect the two topics together, right?
Wow.
Where then you hand it off to another man, because women are worthy of protection.
So you're saying like
Wow.
there has to be a man in the woman's life.
Not
The
has
woman
to,
can't be
not-
like alone.
No, there are exceptions, but it is a beautiful idea.
I explain it like this: a man is a washer, a woman is a dryer. Your clothes don't come out properly unless you know what I'm saying. They don't come out properly. You need they have
both.
two different functions, and that both of those things are needed in order to.
Yeah,
know
if
what
you
I'm
have just a dryer,
saying? Yeah, that's pretty much how it
what's
works.
that gonna do?
Then,
You know what I'm
the
saying?
majority of, if your culture is only infested, black culture only has dryers.
Yeah, and
So look at how the kids turn out.
And let me tell you, like, this is something that she's unaware of, but I'm sure she's attempted dating somebody.
Yeah.
Without your father there being like, I don't know. Let me run by me first. Let me protect you.
Yeah.
Let me check this guy out.
Yeah.
We make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
And that is any woman. Because if you don't have your dad there to run it through him, you don't know. Like, you just are going off of your emotion.
Yep.
You're going off of what feels good.
Yeah.
And that's why we need our fathers there.
Yeah.
That's what she's missing.
Yeah,
you know?
If you don't have a dad around, you meet young boys early on. You start being fast early on. You have a lot of lying and bad experiences that you're gonna get from young people.
Yeah, you
you're gonna have
choose
that,
wrong.
You're gonna get pregnant early. You're gonna have a baby, and then you're gonna teach that baby girl that all men are liars. And then all she's gonna know is that you don't need a man, and men are liars. And then it's gonna continue a cycle of just that, because they never. Her dad is probably totally different than what her mom remember her dad is.
Yeah.
If he didn't pass away or something, but he probably grew into a totally different man, probably a Christian somewhere, preaching the word of God, or is deep in his Bible and understands what his past issues were, and has corrected them ever since. And the mom is probably still telling her,
Holding
talking
on
to her,
it.
just like the dad is still in this position.
There you go.
So like that's why that works the
real.
way it does. You know how I
And
know?
that's in majority of situations.
It's because I'm from the black community where every dad was stank. That's what I heard all
It's
my
his
life.
fault.
All my life is that dads want nothing. So until I met my dad, and then until you know what I'm saying, until you meet like my cousin's dad, or you know what I'm saying, like that, and you like, oh, they ain't what they thought it was, and also they not the same person. This is a grown man now. Y'all, when they were dealing with each other, they were boys. I remember what I was when I was a boy, still trying to figure it out, and I ain't had no dad around, so I won't talk none of that stuff either. So I had that. So any woman that know me from the past that you know what I'm saying, I was a boy. I apologize for being a boy. I was a boy, but that's how it works.
That's why having a daddy around to protect you from the boys. He's gonna make sure he's a man. You know, that's the importance of it. When you're courting and you begin dating, we live in a dating culture where it's honestly dangerous. It's borderline pointless. Like where, you know, but that's a whole nother topic. But anyways, let's get back into this.
Ideal, and when that ideal falls apart, now let's talk about the technical side. In the black community, when fathers are no longer around, crime goes up, poverty goes up, because you'll understand this less, and a man in the audience who grew up without a father will totally get this. If it's just a mom in the house, the dad should come in and discipline the 14-year-old for acting like a brat. The dad comes in and he says, stop doing this. You need to be able to outrank the 14-year-old brat with another masculine figure. We have a problem in black America. The biggest problem is not racism. It's the lack of dads. If dads are around, kids flourish. And you know who agreed with me? Barack Obama. Barack Obama used to make this a central piece of his campaign. He came to this campus back in 2012, drew like a 100,000 person crowd, and talked about how we need to rebuild the black family and put dads back. Why doesn't the Democrat Party talk about that anymore?
I'm fine with having fathers. I'm not against having black dads.
For sure. I'm saying, but don't we agree? Has anyone heard that mentioned on the national scale in the last 10 years?
No. It doesn't get mentioned. Nope.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard about
Really
like
not.
Shouldn't have to about it.
Because there's bigger issues.
No, there isn't. See, that's the issue, is that this is what makes us different. As a conservative, I focus on, if you have family breakdown, don't worry about climate change. Don't worry about systemic racism. All that stuff is like these crazy abstractions.
What do you think create family problems? Systemic racism creates family problems. If you take away black people from their families, then they're going to have broken families.
Okay, so, but that's interesting. How are you taking them away? Aren't they leaving? They're not staying with the women they're impregnating. So, for example, there 13% of the population is black. Not every single person ends up in jail, obviously, and yet there's huge child abandonment because there's a cultural expectation that is different in black America than in white America, which is it's okay to impregnate a woman and abandon her in black America. It's not.
My brother I ain't had no dad around, so my older brothers and cousins, bro, before you even get 12 and 13, the first thing they talking about is, bro, you ain't got no booty yet. That's what you hear. That's all you hear. You ain't got no booty yet. You did it out, bro. I'm out here doing this and that, and you ain't doing that. So the expectation is to go out there and do exactly what they're doing.
And then what comes out of that is babies.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
early babies, and then you got babies. And then,
I didn't mean to do that.
yeah, and then you and whoever you deal with are too immature to know how to handle dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So it's and you ain't finding no high class women doing that. You know what I'm saying? If you out there playing it, you ain't. You know what I'm saying? So it's. That's pretty much from the black community. Yeah. That's what's being perpetuated. Everywhere you look as a young black man, that's exactly what you're looking for. Yeah. You're looking for and especially when I was young, it was the Nellies but Nelly married.
Oh Lord.
Snoop Dogg married.
Bro, and we didn't find out till years later. Oh, you better take that album back.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
And that's perpetuated through the black community, and now they're just watching it ride. Like,
that's
I don't
so
hear none
crazy.
of them talking
I'm
about
chilling. I'm married. I'm cool. What
Yeah.
you talking about?
I'm telling you.
Y'all, in my mansion.
Yeah.
In my mansion that you paid for.
Yep.
Oh.
We creating all of this dishonest
Really?
music.
Yeah.
I thought Snoop Dogg was a pimp.
Bro. The
thought
way
he was
they
a
talk.
pimp.
Yeah, 100%. Crazy.
Based on what? What is that based on?
That's a good question. Where does it come from? It's just based on.
No, I'm saying what is that like your view of Black America?
Well, it's not a view. It's true. I mean, don't take my word for it. Look at Thomas Sowell and Shelby Steele that have done amazing analysis on this. It's that in black culture, that is not considered to be a stigma. In white upper middle class culture, for those of you that grew up in Waukesha or Libertyville or grew up in Hinsdale or grew up in Naperville, you guys all know those neighborhoods. If you impregnate a girl, a woman, and you just like abandon her, that's frowned upon. That is a social stigma in upper middle class white culture.
100%.
And it's not in black culture?
No. In fact, it's glorified by the rap culture.
Yeah.
It is.
I think
Yes.
rap culture is showing what happened. I don't think it's.
Do you think that the songs that are the most popular in Black America are uplifting Black America to be better versions of themselves?
I think the most popular
Like Nicki
songs
Minaj, Cardi B. Do you think that they're like empowering
It is the
people
most
to be
popular.
great?
Well, I do think Cardi B and Nicki Minaj are empowering, but when you talk about like
You can't have a further conversation. That should, you know what, ma'am? Thank you for coming
Yeah,
up to the mic.
But
That's done. That's
but look
crazy.
how Charlie Kirk didn't even put her down. He just
Yeah.
said, that is wild. Okay, that's a wild thing to say. But yeah, I do think they are empowering. Whoa.
But what they're empowering is to be a sloot. That's what's empowering about it. And you know what? It's because I can reflect and think back to when I listened to those things, and it's like, what is it promoting? What did I feel when I was listening to it? Oh, what I didn't realize is that, I just like it because I feel fine that it's cool that I be in a sloot, or that I can move like this, or that I can be this way, and it's whatever.
Feeding
like,
you to the little boys.
Can't tell me.
Feeding them to the little boys of fatherless homes.
I'm telling you.
Just feeding them to them. Like,
Here you go.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah. It's
Telling
wild,
you.
man.
Wow.
Black, like let's go like Kendrick or whatever, like they're
Conscious
talking
rap is
about
not
their
big.
life experiences, and they're saying this is what happened to me, and people relate to that because that's also what happened to them. It's not saying this is the greatest thing in the entire world.
Does it lift up the audience to become better?
I would think so, because it's like
How?
because it's saying we all relate to this. We can all like, this is our story. This is, we can be like better than this, even though it's like, I mean, there's better, there's not better. It depends on what your worldview is, but I think that rap is good because it can like.
No, I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm saying like just the essence, the core, the ethos is not exactly about like quitting drinking, quitting drugs, and getting married and having children.
No, it's about what you have done, not about like.
No, it talks about
No, but
doing.
it's like, to be clear, like in black rap
Can I
culture,
get some more
is
of
it
that?
generally
Yeah.
glorified
Like-
to go sleep with a lot of women?
More and more.
I
Club
mean, that's
music.
your view of it.
I'm asking a
club
question. Is
music.
it in black rap culture?
I
Yes
think-
or no, guys? In black rap culture,
Is glorify women.
Yes.
to be able to sleep with a lot of women.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's one aspect. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just take that aspect.
Because it's a luxury that people can do, and like it's one of the things that people can do and everyone can relate to, or a lot of people can relate
See,
to.
and
Shouldn't
having a
ideally
daddy.
your culture
There you go.
try to elevate and
It's
try to
fine.
challenge the
It's cool.
individual to
daddy would
virtue
be
and
like,
goodness,
"What you
not
doing?
try to bring them down to
better
the
keep
lowest
that in the
parts
house."
of
No,
their.
who is? No, I'm
Change
again.
your
I'm not
clothes.
saying that they are bringing them down. I'm saying that this is what they are doing, and they are sharing their experiences. They're not saying this is the best thing in the entire world. They're saying this is what I have been through.
like sleeping with a lot of
Like
women,
sleeping around
Yeah.
women.
or
Yeah,
like
it's-
gang
it-
violence.
It is
and,
saying
you
it's the
know.
best thing.
I mean, if that's what, like, a lot of people have been through gang violence because that's what's happening in their neighborhoods. They feel like that's the only option. And you might know that that's not the only option, but when you are living in that neighborhood and you don't see any jobs, this is how your family was raising you, what other option do you have? And once you're in it, it's really hard to get out.
So got it. You talk about
the hardest music out is drill music. The hardest hip hop music out is drill music, and that's talking about real people that they really killed on the other side of town.
Yeah.
Black kids. That's
Yeah.
like people singing and humming the song. Who I smoke. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like, what are you talking about, young lady? Like, yeah. This is what it's like. And I have fathers around, man. Pray for that young lady.
systemic racism, and that being a major driver of, Black America's failure to launch, if you will. We subsidize single motherhood in this country. So if you stay single as a single mother, you get money from the federal government, and it's basically subsidized, if you will.
Sure.
Can we at least agree that if the nuclear family in Black America was stronger and tighter knit, that would be a good thing?
In a lot of cases, yeah. I think if the father's abusive, I would not want him there. So I think it really depends on what family you're talking about. I don't think you can generalize
What
and say.
percentage of fathers do you
Where
think
she
are abusive?
live?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I would say it's probably small, right?
Pray for her.
Not
Wow.
I don't know. I have no idea. I have not done research on
Yeah,
what
no, I don't know
percentage of
either, but
fathers.
but
are
generally
abusive.
it's good when mom and dad stays around and is raising the kid.
I would say if they are both healthy parents and they are both ready to have a child, it's great.
Got it.
My father, not ready to have a child, do not want him around
just
me.
one last question on role models. Let's say there's a black kid right now. Would you rather have that black kid have a role model be Kendrick Lamar or Clarence Thomas?
Kendrick, obviously.
So not the black American on the United
Both
States
have to
Supreme
dead.
Court.
No, he's trying to ban interracial marriage. He's trying to do all.
Wow, no, he's in an interracial marriage.
He literally
He's married to a white woman.
Yeah, I know the Roe v. Wade
So
thing.
Kendrick?
Goes against.
He's trying to
and-
ban his own
Yes.
marriage.
Yes.
I thought I've
I'm
heard
sorry to
every-
break it to you, but
Yes.
Roe
Wait,
v.
hold on.
Wade.
So just be clear. That's fine. This is the difference in worldview. We have clarity but not agreement. You'd rather have Kendrick Lamar, who sleeps around with everything that moves.
who is a poet who won a Nobel
versus-
Prize, who
Right, no, versus Clarence Thomas, who grew up in the antebellum South, who's a U.S. Supreme Court justice, one of the smartest people ever to serve on the Supreme Court as a black American. And that's the difference, is that we as conservatives think that Clarence Thomas is a far better role model for black America than just some rapper.
Kendrick Lamar.
I think calling Kendrick
they're
some
not,
rapper
like,
is very dismissive
promoted
and
to
to,
them,
to all the
you
work
know?
he's done with the black community. But okay, that's your opinion, yeah.
Wait.
So we
And honestly, babe, when a guy like Clarence is the way that he is, they're down on him in the black community.
Yeah.
So
you getting
you
roasted.
don't even have a chance because of that.
Yeah.
You won't give someone that is doing better an opportunity to help you do better because you're already down in them.
Yeah.
Not even hearing him out, not even listening how he got there.
Yeah.
What does he actually have to say? Let me listen to him in context.
Yeah.
Rather than I'll listen to a whole album of Kendrick.
Yeah.
Or I'll listen to a whole album of this and that.
But she's basing it off of what black people like. So she's trying to fight for the worst things of our culture. So she's saying you like this, you like Kendrick Lamar.
See, and
okay,
that's
so if they try to say anything about him, I'm not gonna really you know what I'm saying, assess it and see, you know what I'm saying, offer critique to myself or critique to your culture. What I'm saying is I'm going to try to protect the culture in which y'all live. I'm going to try to protect that. And that's all she knows is, again, that's feeling, you said it in the last part, feeling empathy and, you know what I'm saying, being empathetic. And when he said that empathy is bad, it's a terrible thing that's what he means, is that you're empathizing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You're empathizing how somebody feels about their culture when their culture's crap.
Yeah.
Black culture is crap, man.
And then any time that a black guy is doing well or is whitewashed or this and that, like why you gotta make it like he's a bad guy? Like when he clearly is doing well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why not try to figure out how or why? You know, it's wild.
You agree that there should be better role models, maybe?
When have I ever said that there should not be? I'm agreeing with you that there should be fathers if they are right
It's
for
fine.
that thing. we're agreeing. I
And
think,
last question, you're voting for Kamala, I'm guessing?
how can you tell? Yeah.
Okay, what's her
Obviously.
greatest accomplishment?
Probably capping capping the insulin at $35.
She did that. Yeah. What else?
I mean, you said her greatest. I'm just saying, like, that's the thing that goes off the top of my mind is, like, you, like, Big Pharma. I'm sure you're anti-Big Pharma.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's why all the pharmaceutical companies are donating to her. That's right. So, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's sweet. And look at her go to shake his hand.
Yeah,
that's
that's
sweet,
sweet.
man. But yeah,
But
man.
see, that's
pray
how
for
you
her.
have a very healthy conversation.
Yeah.
And yet, you know, you can still not get things or disagree on things, but then you move forward in love for each other. Like, okay, you know, regardless of however this conversation went, it was a conversation, and that's why it is so important that we all continue to do that.
Yeah.
No matter what. Let's hear each other out. Let's talk it out. And I think that at least for me, even in how I grew up, is sometimes those conversations are weird and doesn't feel good to have, but it's important.
You love somebody.
Work through it, you know? But yeah, God bless y'all. We love you, and we'll see you in the next one.